You know, I'm going to give you a history lesson.
We got some dumbass motherfuckers floating around this country.
Start laughing! And when I do, start fucking.
Also, y'all did some nasty-ass jokes on my ass, too.
Funny jokes and unfunny jokes come out of the same birth.
You fucking guys are unbelievable.
Why are you laughing?
Evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Why Are You Laughing? A History of Comedy podcast. And today, I am pleased to introduce to you the life and times of Tim, and a rare instance where I think I literally mean introduce to you, because almost no one knows about this show. It's a complete hidden gem. It's not one. Often people say, well, what's the most underrated comedy ever? Arrested Development, Community, shows like that come up a lot. Even shows like 30 Rock that won a lot of awards, but, underrated as far as like in comparison to other things in the ratings at that time. But this is a show I think literally no one watched. I've never heard anyone talk about it. I was introduced to it by the great Hoops Cotter, a buddy of mine as a boy. And I've heard Big J. Okerson mention it because I think he's friends with Brian Scalaro, who's in the cast. But aside from that, it's very rare you hear the life and times of Tim referenced. And there's so much so that there's not even a lot about it. We have a few interview clips from Steve Dildarian, the creator. But aside from that, there wasn't a lot of information I could dig up on it.
This is like essentially going to be like you convince us to go watch it episode.
This is like the Nick Mullen prank calls episode. I'm showing you my stuff. I'm bringing you guys over to the basement and going, look at what I got. And see if you enjoy.
That was a very highly watched episode too. So
we'll see. We'll see if people enjoy this one. I hope you guys check out the life and times of Tim. If you do, they did also bring back. So this lasted 3 seasons on HBO, which is only 30 episodes in total. They are shot like there's 2 stories per episode. So 2 12-minute stories in each half-hour episode, basically. And they're, so 60 stories in total. And they did bring back Steve Dildarian for this, essentially the same show called 10-Year-Old Tom, but it's just basically the same character, but as a boy. I don't know why. I don't know why exactly that change warranted them being like, all right, we'll call it a new show. We'll get into why it may not have been as successful as it should have been, but it's just a show I love, so I'm excited to talk to you guys about it, and I've wanted to for a while. It's been on my list for some time, so I'm happy to finally scratch this one off. So if you're a Why Are You Laughing fan, if you enjoyed the first 200 episodes, then we appreciate you liking, subscribing, commenting, and you can also become a member on Patreon or YouTube to get early access and bonus content. If you're new here, liking, subscribing, all that stuff I mentioned helps more people find the show, and you can become a member. So consider doing that. Blindmike.net is the easiest place to find all those links. Video available on YouTube, video available on Spotify, audio wherever else you get podcasts. So thank you guys for doing that. And check out Very Good Chow as well. VeryGoodShow.org.
That's right. New episode out now.
Yes. So go do that. And let's get into the life and times of Tim. So this came out in 2009. My senior year of high school, and I remember, like I said, the legendary Hoops Cotter just described to me. HBO put out a sneak preview that we will show you some of, and my buddy just described this to me, and I was like, I have to go home and check this out immediately. And it's essentially just animated Curb Your Enthusiasm. Even some of the plot lines like seem a little, or premises, I should say, seem a little similar to Curb. It's improv as well, which is very similar to Curb, but just in tone and feel, it's essentially an animated Curb Your Enthusiasm is the basic selling point. Yeah, they have, when they say like in an elevator pitch, I guess it would be Curb Your Enthusiasm meets South Park, because it's kind of crude animation, but Curb is really more the vibe you get from this show. So let's hear from Steve Dildarian, who was basically just an advertising guy. He wrote ads for a bunch of big companies, Pepsi, Doritos, Budweiser. He ended up winning awards. He had Super Bowl commercials, and he was an successful ad man who eventually pivoted to trying to get into the TV business. So let's hear from Steve Dildarian.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the end goal. For
Right.
everyone to know and like your work. And in the advertising realm, I had it. So it was a weirdly like a lateral move, the idea of selling a show that maybe half as good and get half the attention and get canceled, you know?
Right. And people ultimately don't care. Like the people in the bars, you know, to them, a funny thing is a funny thing, whether it's an ad or a sitcom, doesn't matter to them.
Yeah. So it was an interesting spot to be in. And it's the reason I never left advertising, because I had it pretty good. But then for whatever reason, it was a stretch of time where I just got a little fried and a little bored, and I was kind of not that motivated at the agency anymore, and a little bummed out on what some of the pilots that weren't going forward. So for whatever weird reason, I started painting in that stretch, and the painting, it all was this weird kind of blur of a stretch of time where I started doing things out of my comfort zone, and I started drawing and illustrating, and I started learning to edit, and I started doing voices, and it was all uncharted territory. And it kind of just coalesced in this short film me and my girlfriend made called Angry Unpaid Hooker. And it was.
We'll see that in a second, the sketch that they ended up writing. But Steve Dildarian, so interesting to hear just a regular working guy where he was in advertising, he was successful, and he was fairly content with that. He wasn't a guy who was, always wanted to be in Hollywood or always wanted to work in television that failed. So he went to advertising. There doesn't seem to be a lot of bitterness, but then just eventually he was kind of creatively unfulfilled and started doing other things. Like he said, painting and drawing. And that led him to making this show. And it's interesting to hear his perspective where he's like, I was winning awards in advertising. I had Super Bowl commercials. Like I was very successful. And now I'm in a position where I'm trying to sell this show that might suck and maybe no one will watch. So like, not only is it a risk, it was almost like a downgrade in lifestyle for him, it seemed. But he started having these ideas and these things he wanted to do and see through. And I'm very glad he did. So Angry Unpaid Hooker, I don't have the original version of that, but essentially the pilot of Life and Times of Tim is a version of that sketch that he wrote with his girlfriend at the time. So we'll see a little snippet of the pilot of Life and Times of Tim here.
What a weekend. I mean, a 3-day cruise, and now we get to see your place in New York, honey.
I personally am excited to meet Tim, the boyfriend.
Oh, yes, the boyfriend, my little girl.
I hope you like him.
Oh, I'm sure we will, sweetie. He sounds positively delightful.
Tim!
What? Oh, Amy. Well, I thought you guys were coming in tonight.
Who is she?
Who? This woman?
Yes.
Or that woman? That's
No.
your mother, I assume.
Who is she?
Oh, my name's Debbie.
It's Debbie.
Yeah.
I'm sitting with Debbie.
And what is Debbie doing here?
She's an electrician.
Oh.
That's what she does for a living.
An electrician.
Yeah. So let's just
Are you a prostitute?
Oh, no.
What's happening? Now you crossed the line. I don't allow that kind of language in this home.
What a mouth.
What do you do?
I am a self-employed person. But occasionally I do give a $10 BJ.
Oh.
$10 BJ?
$10 BJ. What's that?
You know what?
What does that phrase mean?
What is that?
What does BJ stand for?
I can't believe you got a prostitute
I'm not familiar.
while we're on a cruise.
You know what? Let's change the subject. How was the cruise?
He's fantastic at being like the straight man, the language that he uses, the lack of self-awareness that they write into this character is incredible. And like I said, it's very Larry David in the sense that he finds himself in these situations that the audience is aware are not his fault, or even in some cases like the audience agrees with him. But he's much more of a schlub with no social grace, where Larry, Larry's right and Larry fights for being right. Where Tim is kind of the opposite, where he allows himself to be pushed around and looked down upon in a lot of these situations. So it's really a great character. And like I said, very similar to Curb. You can say derivative of it, but like I do think there are enough differences, and the cast also has like their own tone. The way Seinfeld and Curb, there's sort of a language within the show, and even one-off characters kind of pick up on the way they all talk with each other. Certain vocabulary they use or certain cadences, and Life and Times of Tim has their own version of that.
What year did this come out?
2009, I believe, maybe the fall of 2008.
So it wasn't that long ago.
No, and I think the main problem was it was on Friday nights. Now, even being on HBO, that's when on demand did kind of start. That's how I watched it. Was always on demand. So that capability was there, but like it was on Friday nights. I don't remember what time, but on Friday nights it doesn't even really matter what time. They didn't really ever rerun it. It was not the classic HBO Sunday block. I think if you asked most people, they wouldn't even know HBO had original programming on Friday nights unless it was a comedy special or something.
Right, which is what I remember.
Yeah, so it was just not. Weirdly, unlike most shows, I would say almost every show would be better off on HBO, especially at that time. Early to mid 2000s, you would benefit from being on HBO over basically any other network. But I think in the case of Life and Times of Tim, they might have been better off on something like Adult Swim or maybe even Comedy Central. Because you can still get away with a little. The language on this show is not particularly crass. They kind of pick their spots with cursing, but it's not over the top ever. So I don't think they would be hindered by being on FX or Comedy Central or Adult Swim, where maybe more people could have found it.
Next, we have animation.
Yeah, so the animation is very, very rough, which Steve Dildarian, will go back to him to talk about that.
So once she showed me how the files could work, it was a real eye opener where it's like, wow, let's go for it. And then using iMovie, we would take her replicated versions of these and literally just kind of like a flip book, put one frame after another. And we were shocked when you played it in iMovie, it actually looked like they were talking or crossing their arms. It's like reinventing, the first time a flip book was ever made.
You had discovered animation.
Exactly. It felt like it.
So it's these completely rough around the edges drawings. It looks almost amateurish, which I think really works for the show. And I think that's true of a lot of the great animated, early South Park, early Family Guy. And even I'm legally blind, and even I can tell new Family Guy. If you ever see clips of new episodes of Family Guy, there's something about it that looks too nice. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but
it's got a shine that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it's too pristine. When in what that should be is a crude, rough drawing. I think South Park stayed a little closer to that. But there's a nice. I don't know. It creates a nice ambiance. The fact that it's not too polished.
But next we have him talking about film festivals.
Yeah, so he starts submitting it to film festivals, and that's where he started feeling real success and this might actually work.
So we sent it to 5 or 6 film festivals, and we only heard back from 2 of them. And one of them was the Comedy Festival in Aspen that HBO used to put on, and the other one was Palm Springs. And the reaction was just amazing. I couldn't believe how much people were into it. I mean, I felt like it was funny, but I was definitely surprised at how funny other people thought it was. Because, both of them were the HBO, the Aspen one, they called me and said, we don't have a category for animated shorts. It's just best animation. But the judges love it so much, they want to create a category and to give you an award.
What's really impressive, so obviously it did very well at these films, and that just goes to show you how difficult the television business is people are clamoring for it at these festivals. It gets into the festival that HBO runs, and they love it, and people are vying for it. We'll hear about the bidding war there was in a second. And when HBO finally gets it, they're like, all right, Friday nights, 10 p.m. Like, what? because it how many pilots are there that we've never even seen? People make a career out of going out to LA and shooting pilots every year. And it's just this, I imagine if you're in that industry, it's got to really just completely beat you down mentally. Right. So he's in this position where he feels like the belle of the ball for a minute, and then you have this show that it's not even that it struggled while it was on the air. It was just this thing that existed. It had a very, very niche following, and everyone who watched it loved it.
Well, it had 3 seasons, so it was either extremely cheap or it did really well.
I think it was very cheap, which is impressive because of some of the elements of the cast that we'll talk about. But I think it was very cheap. Like I said, the animation is obviously very rough. So I think it was incredibly cheap to make. Steve Dildarian being a first-time creator and star of a show, I imagine came pretty cheap as well. So it was definitely not expensive for them to put on the air. But we'll hear a little bit about how HBO got it first.
It worked, and your agents got you. Was it like a bidding war to buy this project, or what was it?
It was definitely that type of vibe. There were multiple people interested. And I think what happened was that the highest bidder kind of won early on, because that's always the instinct, at least from the agent's point of view, is to go that way. So when they knew that Warner Brothers wanted to do it and Fox wanted to buy it, that was just, it answered itself. We just went that way. I don't know whether it was the right way or not. I don't know, but that's what we did. But when they passed on it a year later after making a pilot, then, Comedy Central wanted to do it. And it's a kind of a long, murky story, but we actually went into production with MRC with no network attached because they knew we'd have multiple bids. There's just a lot of good buzz around it. So we hired a staff and got office space and started making 10 episodes with no network attached to buy it.
Yeah, so they started doing it themselves, which is really impressive. I guess that's kind of the way you would have had to do a show like this, because without proof of concept or proof that it works in some form or fashion, it's going to be tough to get a network like HBO to not only buy this show, but allow you to have the freedom that this idea required, because it's it's rare in any show. But I think even more rare in animation that the cast improv. They're all in the same room and they improv together, which you can kind of tell that there are even like slight mistakes left in. I think you might even hear one in the next clip. But within the show, there are little idiosyncrasies that feel a little off, and it's because they're having like real conversations, which is extremely rare for an animated show, never mind just any show in general. But yeah, they eventually, like I said, get it on HBO. There's not a lot more to say about the creation of the show. Even like Steve Dildarian hasn't done a lot of massive appearances. I looked for Nick Kroll talking about it, who's one of the stars of the show, and there's not a lot out there of him talking about it. It had a bunch of guest stars. It doesn't really get acknowledged. It's erased in history. I think it is back on HBO Max now, but for a lot of years, when I would tell people about The Life and Times of Tim, they thought I was crazy because it didn't exist on HBO for a period of time, and I never even understood why that was. So it's just this. It was a flash in the pan kind of a thing, and if you saw it, you saw it. But I believe now we get into just some clips of the show that I will try and hook you guys in with.
So the first thing in Mike's stuff is the boss.
The boss is my favorite character. He's one of my favorite characters on any television show. The guy who does this voice, the only other thing I've ever heard him in, he does like commercials for the MLB on Fox. That might be where you recognize his voice. But other than that, I don't know this guy from anything. But the boss, I love as a character, and he really makes this show. The Life and Times of Tim is essentially a sitcom. It's just animated. And it's basically a workplace comedy, but you get elements of Tim's home life. His girlfriend is a big part of the show, but a lot of it centers around his job at Omnicorp. And the boss is just named the boss. I do think they reveal his first name at some point, but like he was originally just credited as the boss. So there's a lot of stuff in this show. Like, Tim is just Tim. It's very rough around the edges, and I think purposely so to make it simple. This was not a high concept show. They just wanted to focus on the plot line, basically. But let's hear from the boss. And this is the first episode I was introduced to. Like I said, that the great Hoops Cotter introduced me to.
It sounds like a fake name.
It is.
Oh, who's the best boy in the world? Keith is. That's right. Daddy loves Keith.
You wanted to see me?
Oh, Timothy.
Yes.
As you can see, I brought Keith in today, even though, as we all know, the building strictly forbids dogs.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the boss, I'm not exempt from the rules. Now, the last thing I need is Marie from H&R, that means Human Resources, giving me a hard time about this.
Where do I come in?
Well, on our way out of the elevators, sweet Keith here innocently pooped on the rug.
He pooped.
Defecated.
No, I understand what you mean. I just don't know what you want me to do.
Well,
I don't have to clean it up, do I?
No. Somebody else can clean it up. Don't worry about it.
Great.
I want you to say you did it.
Say I did it.
Tell everyone you took a poop on the rug.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can't say that. People would remember that. I think that story could really catch on.
Listen, just go to everyone, individually, as a group, however you want to do it, and say, hey, I took a poop on the rug by the elevators. Now let's all just move on with our lives.
I don't think it's as simple.
Tonight, the Red Sox versus Cardinals.
Yeah, I like him in this role much better. But like the way the boss character talks, I've adopted certain phrases he's said just because I love them so much. And I think we're going to hear them another one in one of the next clips. We have a little more from that episode. But yeah, it is stuff like that seems it's much like Curb. There's elements of it that are ridiculous in nature, but you can put yourself in that situation. Like it feels authentic, or like it's based in some semblance of reality. Like while that might be a ridiculous ask of a boss, you can think of something your boss has asked that is outlandish like that. So people, it's a very relatable show to me, even though it can be ridiculous at times.
But here's HR.
Yeah, so that's the other thing in this show is that everyone, much like Curb, is extremely inappropriate, but the only one who ever gets shit for it is the main character. Like in Curb's case, Larry, in this case, Tim, where people can kind of act however they want, and when it reverts back to Tim is the only time they ever get offended. So the HR person, Marie, is also very funny.
Can I have everyone's attention in this area, please?
Oh, boy.
Evidently, one of you decided to bring in a dog today. I need to know who that person is. Building management wants the dog out.
Unbelievable. Strictly against policy.
Come on, people. I need to see the pooch. I don't want to have to conduct a search.
You know what? I have a confession to make. I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
I don't know what I did it means.
It means I did
it.
It was me.
What does that mean?
What does it mean? I think we all know.
Look, I think, Tim, if I could take this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Certainly. I think what Tim is trying to say here is that that he took a dump by the elevator. Back to work.
That's what I was afraid. Back to work is what I use a lot. Back to work.
Well, I already am going to go watch the show.
You got it. It's great, right?
Yeah.
That's real. That. By the way, if you're already hooked, you can turn it off. Just go watch The Life and Times of Tim, because the rest of this episode is me just going, huh? Is this going to make you watch it?
That's the only clip I needed to see.
Much like in the Nick Mullen episode, the movie theater call was the only one we really needed to play, you know?
Right.
But
Your seat gave my pants a crease.
I'll regale you guys with a few more. But also the other thing about this show is that the voices are so perfect. And I think we're about to be introduced to another one of the perfect voices in this show. But the cadence, the authenticity in their voices, these aren't like overdone, your usual kind of silly cartoon voices. They feel very real. And Nick Kroll, who's in this show, Big Mouth always felt similar to me. Because, the kids were it was Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Jason Mantzoukas, but it was real people using their regular voices. So it felt more, I don't know, authentic and genuine and real.
Yeah, this is Nick Kroll.
Yeah, so the Nick Kroll plays Tim's best friend Stu, who also works at Omnicorp. This is an episode where Tim befriends a priest he went to his girlfriend's niece's baptism, and he becomes friends with the priest there, and he realizes that because of all the scandals at the Catholic Church, it's become a lot easier to be a priest. They kind of let you do whatever you want. And so Nick Kroll, Stu, and Tim find themselves at the priest's apartment here.
Stu.
Stewie.
Come on, big dude.
Fill it.
All right. I don't know if this is really a sin or not, but I was getting baked in a warehouse last week. And when I was leaving, I saw that it was on fire. And I don't know if it was me, but because it could have been the kids in the school next door. But
Stu.
I saw that on the news. It's not school.
That was you.
You think you burnt down a warehouse. That's the sin.
I think so.
It's a gray area.
Thank you.
Because we're not sure if you burn the warehouse down. Just because you're leaving while it's on fire doesn't mean anything. Let's check with the Lord. Lord?
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no
Is
whammies.
Stu forgiven?
Drum roll, please.
He can't be.
Sounds like a yes to me.
Woo! Yes.
When you don't hear anything, it's good.
Off the hook, Stu.
No Hail Marys, that one's on the house. Give it up high, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
You're being a little easy here.
Tim.
Yeah?
Keep your nose out of our business.
Who does the priest voice?
Actually, could you look that up? Because I was wondering the same thing. It sounds familiar to me. But Nick Kroll was a relatively unknown. He just got the league, so he was definitely getting success. You'd see him pop up in things around this time, like small roles, like "I Love You, Man" and things like that. But he was not the name that he is now, and didn't have the success that he does now. So they had these comedians, and they also Eddie Pepitone does voices in this show. I mentioned Brian Scalaro, Kyle Kinane. They had good comedians with these authentic, real voices that I love so much, and didn't make them do a goofy accent or anything. I mean, there are goofy accents in the show, even done by Nick Kroll. But did you find who did the priest, Craig?
His name's Rick Gomez.
Okay, not as familiar as I was thinking. But I just love they picked all the right voices for the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in.
Well, let's continue with confession here. I think the priest has a sin to confess.
Who's up?
Me.
You. Do you have any sins or a priest?
Listen up. Last Tuesday, I went into an Oriental massage parlor and received what is known as a hand job. Then I ran out without paying. And that's that.
I did not expect to hear that.
Okie dokie, I'm going to give myself 8 Hail Marys and a big gold bucket of nothing else. I'm off the hook. Clean slate.
What? 8?
That's it.
8 is not a lot. That's
more than 7.
You got a hand job and ran
Tim,
away.
It doesn't matter. I confessed. I have a clean slate.
I don't think it works like that.
I don't think you know what you're talking about because I'm a priest and you're not. It's your turn, Tim.
Of course, Tim has to confess his sin. But there are even things, in Nick Kroll's confession, he said "but" twice. He started a sentence with "but" and then ended it with "but." And little things like that make this show feel more real because it's improv and it's kind of hastily edited. At least it has that feel to it. But I think it gives more authentic conversations to some of these absurd premises.
But yeah, here's Tim's confession.
Okay.
You know what? This is a little silly. I guess it counts. The other day, jerked off in the bathroom.
Oh.
Well, that's
What?
understandable.
That's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good one.
I don't
It's
even
good to
think,
jerk off every once in a while, Tim.
Got to relieve the pressure, you know?
Absolutely, Tina.
That's good. It's actually a funny story. It was after your baptism there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's when it happened. I went in the lobby bathroom.
The lobby at a church?
Oh my God.
Just the lobby.
In church?
No.
No.
In front of Christ?
There's a public restroom.
Public restroom in church.
Why do you keep saying the word church?
Because it was in church in which you jerked off.
Hey, the bathroom lobby does not count as church. You're making it sound like I did something weird.
The lobby isn't part of the church?
No, it's
There's
the lobby.
a giant crucifix right in the lobby.
I'm gonna vomit.
Welcome to church.
No,
That's what
no.
the sign says. Welcome
No.
to church.
Come on, there was no stained glass.
No stained glass.
Where I come from, if there's no stained glass, you're home free.
Honey, take my gum. I think I'm gonna be sick.
They were great at the indignance turning around on Tim. That's the thing they were really amazing at. And like I said, the vocabulary they would use to be offended by Tim's actions, they pulled off every time. It's kind of the twist that you expect in every episode. It's going to happen at some point, but they're great at sticking the landing every time, so it doesn't feel stale. And that's also the nice thing about it being 30 episodes. I do think there's a point in Curb in the later seasons where you're kind of like, this wouldn't really happen.
Right.
Seinfeld never reached that point. I do think Curb did, where you're like, this feels a little forced. So that is probably one of the benefits of having only done 30 episodes, that they never really had to hit that point.
I think Curb from the fatwa on was not the same.
I think I rewatched that season with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and the second time I watched it, it was better than I remembered. But yeah, you're right. None of that is on par. The finale was a good finale. I guess
Once Cheryl and him split, I was like,
Well, I think season 8 is great. And that's the year after the Seinfeld season where they officially. I think season 8 is very good. That's the Palestinian chicken season. Michael J. Fox. There's a bunch of good plot lines.
oh yeah. So I guess it would be season.
It was honestly when they took a long break.
Yes,
they took a long break. They came back with that fatwa season. Like I said, I think there's some decent episodes in there. I think there's some decent premises in all the later seasons of Curb. Like the MAGA episode is very funny when he wears a MAGA hat to just get people to leave him alone. But there's things like that are funny. It's just not as consistently funny. And another thing that I think benefited them as far as that goes, especially with having a first time, TV writer and creator at the helm of things, is having the episodes split up into these halves, where the first half is, an 11 to 13 minute plot line, and then it comes back with a second totally different episode. So you're basically getting 2 episodes within 1/2 hour that have nothing to do with each other. And I think that helped the premises stay fresh and not feel overdone.
Next we have Tim's beard.
So this is I believe this is season 2 where Tim is. I know, I'm sorry. But they it'd be funny if everyone protests me now.
You can't show us how awesome your stuff is and then ruin it.
It doesn't really affect the plot. Don't worry about it. But Tim has fallen on hard times, as you'll see here. You know what, Craig? Bleep that in the final version of this. It's only ruined for you.
It's only wrecked for me.
Yeah.
Tim.
Hey, Steve.
Making copies. Remember that?
That was funny.
Rob Schneider's hilarious.
That was good.
Speaking of copies, is the copy machine working?
Yeah, it seems okay.
Oh, because what's not working?
What's not working?
The beard on your face.
That was an elaborate setup just to insult me.
I'm just trying to break it to you gently.
I'm actually getting a lot of compliments on it.
Really? Other guys with beards?
People have said, hey, you grew a beard. I took that as a compliment.
No, that's just a statement of fact.
This is definitely a more artsy look than you're used to seeing on me. if you mistake me for a painter or a sculptor, maybe, but
Oh!
what?
A bum snuck in here and he's making copies on the good paper.
Helen, it's Tim.
Disgusting.
I'm not a bum.
Get him out.
No, ouch.
Security. Security.
See what I mean?
This is crazy.
What's all the hubbub down here?
Nothing.
Quick recap. Helen thought Tim was a bum, so she attacked him in self-defense.
Well, good God, look at him. That's totally understandable.
Excuse me?
Clearly, you're going for some vile, filthy, disgusting street urchin look. Am I wrong?
No, come on. I broke up with my girlfriend, so maybe...
You broke up with your girlfriend?
She broke up with... I don't want to get into the specifics of...
Tim, are you trying to say that right now you look better than the average homeless person down on the street?
A little bit.
Really?
Considerably, actually. Yeah, I think I look...
Time to prove a point. Do you work here?
Yes, for several years.
Huh.
I'm kind of a bottom feeder.
Listen, I want you to go down to the street. I want you to fetch a homeless person. I want to compare him to Tim.
I'm on it.
Aren't you busy?
I'm busy doing this.
I guess you don't have to bleep it.
Yeah. I still think you should have to. But
okay.
After your outrage.
Okay.
but they go downstairs, find a bum named Vince, who I believe is voiced by Tony Hale, Buster Bluth. You may know him as. That's the other thing we'll talk about in a minute is like the amount of guest stars that this show had for something that was relatively, like by HBO standards, unsuccessful. But they had a lot of big names and relevant names in comedy contribute to this product. But they go downstairs. They, of course, bring the bum back, and everyone thinks the bum looks better than Tim, which results in our next scene.
Hey there.
Hey.
Don't look now, but someone shaved.
Don't look now is
Check.
right.
What does that mean?
You look like a house.
I'm fat. No, I shaved. I look good now.
Well, that's the point. You shaved the beard and revealed how fat you really are.
No. I might have gained a pound.
You're becoming worse looking by the second. A pound? Really? What, in your neck?
My neck doesn't even weigh.
Tim, take a seat
that much.
and take it easy. Your heart might not be able to stand a swift move into a chair. Now, look,
This is crazy.
Don't take this the wrong way, but we are thinking about replacing you with Vince, the homeless guy.
Don't take that the wrong way.
He just gives off this energy, you know? Even his
No.
name instills confidence. Vince.
Mhm.
Right? Vince. It's like a cologne.
What about Tim? If you say my name like that, you with the
Tim, you know? Doesn't sound good.
This is not fair. Honestly,
Tim.
How do we not have this guy as the character in everything? He's amazing. The boss is one of my favorite TV characters ever. I'm deciding right now.
I have high hopes for him.
Look up the actor's name. The boss in The Life and Times of Tim. We're not giving this man enough credit. Because I'm about to talk about all the amazing guest stars that have been in this show. Like I said, Tony Hitt, Super Dave Osborne, Jeff Garlin. That's probably some HBO doings. Like there are some people that worked at HBO at that time that contributed to the show. Bob Saget we'll hear from. Bob Odenkirk. There's a lot of people. Aziz was in an episode. Aziz was not as big at that time, but like there's a bunch of people that you'll recognize their voice in this show. And like I said, a show that's relatively unknown. You're kind of like, how'd they get this person?
Peter Giles.
Peter Giles. Maybe my favorite actor of all time. I'm deciding that right now.
Next, we do have Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, so and again, Bob Odenkirk was not Saul Goodman yet. But like he's a name in comic. Wrote for SNL with Bob and Dave, or I'm sorry, Mr. Show. Like the man's had some success for God's sake, and he contributed to this show in another amazing scene here as the bathroom attendant. And like I said, there's parts of this, like you could say this is a little derivative of the doorman in Seinfeld, but they take it to a much different level.
You were pointing at me?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know
you wanted to spit on me?
I didn't know you were standing there. I'm just washing up.
Let me get that.
I can get my own towel.
Turn that off.
Whoops. Wow,
Just trying to be helpful. Cologne?
No. Whoops, that's on me.
Mint?
What are you doing?
There you go.
I don't.
Condoms?
Absolutely not.
A couple of them. Put them in there.
What are you doing?
Look, you got to trust me, kid. All a man needs to succeed in life is a mouthful of mints and a pocket full of rubbers. And Ben Franklin said that.
So he ends up, of course, offending the bathroom attendant. And Tim has a big meeting at this restaurant. And the bathroom attendant, played by Bob Odenkirk, thinks of the best possible way to get revenge on Tim for having offended him. So
That's right. It's time to listen to the bathroom guy. This is my Jerry Maguire moment. Except I didn't type up a mission statement. I don't have a copier in the bathroom. Anyway, you can all suck it. You know, it means something to me to watch you get cleaned up in the bathroom after you've done your business. I take pride in it, real pride.
Good speech.
Guess what? You've pushed me too far this time. The bathroom guy has left the building. And one more thing. That guy there.
What?
That one.
Me?
Didn't wash his hands after he took a huge dump that clogged the toilet.
No, don't end the speech like that.
You didn't wash your hands.
No, I washed them.
And one more thing.
No, come on. Jerry Maguire never came back.
The guy who didn't wash, he asked me for a bunch of rubbers and said,
oh boy,
and I quote, before she flies home, I'm gonna titty fuck the woman sitting next to me.
What?
Check his jacket pocket.
Good Christ.
Prove anything? You wouldn't really use condoms for that. That seems like overkill.
Tim, I knew you were a filthy weasel, but I mean, trying to jam your wiener between the Nortons of the CFO.
No.
Tim, I'm going to have to let you go.
There's also there's a line in that scene that the Warthog will text me from time to time, where after Bob Odenkirk says that, Tim says, "I've been misquoted before, but this takes the cake." That actually might be a different episode that I'm thinking of, but it's very similar.
Next, we have Party Marty.
Bob Saget. Again, the guest stars in this show, not massive names like, the way The Simpsons have had every celebrity as a character at some point. It's not like that. It's actually like the perfect guest stars for this type of show, for a sort of underground improv animated show. They got a lot of the right people, and Bob Saget actually might play my favorite character in the show. He's just a mild-mannered, boring accountant or salesman, a guy that works at Tim's office, and Tim has to take a road trip with him, and Party Marty comes out. He just completely changes to this filthy guy, much like Bob Saget between Danny Tanner and his stand-up. It's also kind of a premise that The Office stole and used for Stanley Hudson in one of the later seasons, but that's neither here nor there. Let's hear from Party Marty.
All right, you know what? One drink, and we're going to run through the presentation.
Tim, we're not here for
One drink.
We're not here for the presentation.
That's exactly why we're here.
We're here for the ladies. Hot Ohio
No.
lady action.
We're not here for that reason.
Bar Cape. Like one red-headed slut and a stiff nipple. You like a stiff nipple?
Me?
A stiff nipple? And excuse me, what would you like? Ladies?
No, that's somebody's mom. Marty, you're spending a lot of money. Are you going to be able to write this off?
Tim, on business trips, everything can be written off. You just need to
How?
be creative.
Not that.
Anything.
Slippery nipples.
Do you see
and
this shirt?
Sluts.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
This shirt I purchased for this trip. You know how I'm writing it off?
Shirt.
No.
Business apparel.
No.
No.
Cab to Kinko's.
That's a cab to Kinko's.
Yeah. You need to be creative, and then you can have a little fun on these
No,
trips.
Marty.
Come here. I can't say this loudly.
Yeah.
One time I bought a brick of Coke.
No, you didn't.
I did, and I snorted it off the ass of the concierge girl at the Radisson.
This is why we never meet the sales projections.
Ask me. How did I write that off? That brick of Coke
How
snorted
did you
off. write
it off?
Yeah. Cab to Kinko's.
Cab to Kinko's. How did I not know that?
You can write anything off of that.
Just such a great show. And like I said, like listen to the laughs we're having. It is, to me, the most underrated show because you never hear about this show. Arrested Development is actually a bad answer to the most underrated show of all time because it was so many people's answer for so many years. And then, of course, they had the reboot, which was terrible and all of that. But like now it became a very popular show because of because of how underrated it was when it was actually on. Community, kind of the same thing. I was thinking of this just while we were playing that clip. The one that I bet people will mention, and maybe you've already commented it, you folks at home. The Critic, another animated show starring John Lovitz, which was done by some of the Simpsons guys. That had it was like very critically acclaimed. People say it's great. I've actually never seen it, but people love it. And it did not have a long run at all. It rarely gets talked about now. but that might be one that people think of as on par and like a truly underrated show, where it's very rare that it gets talked about. But
yeah, that's another one that's gone past me.
yeah, I haven't seen The Crow, but people love it. The people that have seen it do love it.
But we're at our last clip.
Okay. This is Norm Macdonald?
No. This is a
Honestly,
promotion.
the names we've mentioned, it wouldn't have been crazy if Norm was in this show.
He would have been a great character in this show.
He certainly would have, yeah.
Oh, Stu.
Yeah.
I got problems.
Really?
I need to impress Amy somehow.
Okay.
She thinks I'm a screw up.
That's a fair assessment.
What's that?
Don't listen to me. Ask for a promotion.
A promotion?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll give it to me?
Yeah, just storm in there and lay down the law.
Storm in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't storm in anywhere.
Okay, I have a solution.
Yeah?
Walk in there nervously and lay down the law in a stuttering, insecure manner.
I can handle that. That's more my speed. So I hate to just storm in here and lay down the law like this, but there's no two ways about it. I'm due for a promotion, and I'm here to claim it.
I'm sorry. How did you get in here?
How did I get in?
Who are you?
Pause real quick. That's another thing I love about the tone of the show, where he says, like, I hate to storm in here and lay down the law. And the boss goes, mm-hmm. And then a moment later, he's like, how did you get in here? He's like, I'm willing to listen, but I've got questions in a second.
I'm Tim.
Tim. Timothy.
Yeah.
Terrible name. Very weak. It implies a weak will. Have you considered changing it? How does Keith strike you?
Keith?
I have a dachshund named Keith, and it would make things very easy for me if your name was also Keith.
I don't want to change my name to Keith. That's somewhat my license I got to change.
All right. But anyway, listen, I'm going to give you this promotion.
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
I got the promotion.
Done. I just need you to do me one small little favor.
Anything.
Tomorrow night, you will accompany my daughter to her senior prom.
Prom?
Golden years.
That sounds like fun, but I can't go to a prom.
Well, some punk canceled on her,
No.
and she's been bawling and weeping in the bathroom ever since.
I'm sorry to hear that, but my girlfriend, she doesn't like me doing things with teenage girls in general, dancing with them or...
Listen, just go to the prom, you get your promotion. That's the way the business world works. Come on, Keith.
All right. If that's the way the business world works.
Good boy.
Another line the Warthog and I use a lot. Later in the episode, he goes to take the daughter out, and he meets the dog is there, of course, Keith. And the boss looks at Tim and looks at the dog, and he goes, "Well, finally a meeting of the two Keiths." It's just such a good show. That's the whole point of this episode. I should have just posted the clips and been like, guys, watch this show, because that's all you really needed. But
we needed to get your attention by doing this.
yeah, maybe I know you guys are sitting at home and saying, I trust Mike Geary's word. I need him to sell me on it if I'm going to watch it first. So that's what I did here today. I hope.
I was sold instantly.
Good. So we got Craig. Who else we got? Let me know. Leave in the comments if you made it this far in, or if you said no, Mike. I bet the first clip you played, I was already sold and I left as you instructed me. Then I'm fine with that. But if you made it this far in, comment. Let me know. Like, subscribe, and also leave your most underrated shows. If you think there's something on par with the life and times of Tim, if it's something I've seen, maybe we'll do an episode on it at some point. And if it's something that I have not seen, I will try and check it out. So,
I'm going to watch this. So if you guys out there want to start like a book club for this show, let me know.
Fun.
That could be fun.
Oh, you know what? Every episode of Very Good Chow should be just you guys commenting on the life and times of Tim.
Yeah, I need the algorithm to boost it anyway.
Yeah. One hand really washes the other there. So go to verygoodShow.org, support Very Good Chow, support this program at blindmike.net. We appreciate you guys doing that wherever you get podcasts, and support the life and times of Tim. Oh, and like I said, I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, but they did come back. So Steve Dildarian did come back with a show called 10-Year-Old Tom. It is not a spinoff. It is not the same show. It's not the same character, anything. But it's essentially the exact same. It's Steve Dildarian. Instead of an adult, he's a 10-year-old, and he's getting into the type of mischief and
I feel like 10-year-old Tim would have worked just as well.
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't do that, but maybe that'll be part 2 of this episode when I discover why.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So enjoy the show, guys. I hope, and we'll talk to you next time on Why Are You Laughing?
Zip it up and zip it out.